and welcome to Blue Lives TV on the America Out Loud TV network. I'm your host, Randy Sutton. I want to tell you first a little bit about Blue Lives Matter. It is the largest grassroots police support organization in the country. We have about 1.4 million followers on Facebook, and if you're not one of them, you need to be. And you need to check out our website, bluelivesmatter.blue. It is the information website about all things law enforcement. Check us out, bluelivesmatter.blue. You know, in today's show, I want to talk about some people who we need to celebrate because of their courage, their commitment, and the way that they have protected the American law enforcement officer. I'm going to tell you some stories about some amazing people. Vicki Tillman, 56 years old, a grandmother about this big, saw a Baton Rouge police officer, a guy named Billy Amy, who was in a fight for his life. The suspect had gotten his baton away from him, was beating him with it. He was trying to get the officer's gun. People drove by and nobody stopped except for Grandma Tillman. Now, she jumped on this guy's back. She was trying to choke him out, and she saw that he was trying to get the officer's gun. She tried to twist his arm around, and she was able to, along with the officer, keep that suspect from getting that gun until backup could get there and get him into custody. When she was interviewed on the news, she was as humble as could be. She said, "This is a guy that needed help, and I helped him." That's an amazing American. That's not the only story about this type of courage. Just weeks before, an Arizona trooper was called to a traffic accident in the early morning hours. This is a really routine call for a trooper. When he got there, what he didn't know was that there was a suspect who was armed with a pistol who was laying in wait for him. When he got out to check on the woman who was dead from the accident, this suspect shot the officer. A citizen happened to be driving by. Not only did this guy shoot the officer, but then he got on top of him, was beating him with it, with his gun, and this officer was literally in a fight for his life. Well, this motorist who was stopping to assist, he had his own gun. He ordered the suspect to get away from the badly injured trooper. And when he didn't do it, he made the ultimate decision. He shot and he killed that suspect. The trooper had been hit in the chest and the shoulder, but survived because of the brave person who decided to make a difference in that officer's life. After spending 34 years as a police officer, I think I know a little bit about security and about keeping people safe. And there is one security company that stands above all the others. It's JSD Protective Services. Now, this is not your rent-a-cop, okay? This is 21st century security at its best. They're nationwide. They do everything. They do executive protection. They do armed security. They do detective work. They do even law enforcement functions. And here's what sets them apart. Their training. Their training in security is second to none. I have been very, very impressed with their entire program. If you are have a need for security, JSD Protective Services, check them out. They're the best. There's another story. I'm just going to throw a couple more at you. Florida deputy Dean Bartas made a car stop on a reckless driver. Once again, one of those car stops that are made every single day. Well, the driver jumped out, began fighting with the deputy, and he had a gun, and he was beating the deputy. A motorist was driving by. This motorist had a CCW permit, carrying a concealed weapon permit. He got out with his gun. He told that suspect to stop. Well, the suspect didn't, and the citizen made him stop when he shot and killed him. Now, one more story I just want to tell you. This happened just a couple weeks ago. An Indiana conservation officer made a car stop in the middle of the afternoon after responding to a report of a suspicious person. These are very frequent calls. Well, the suspect, a guy named Justin Holland, jumped out of the car. There was a female who assisted him, attacking the officer and was beating him. And a woman who lived nearby looked out the window and saw that this officer was in serious trouble. Well, she had a gun in the house. She grabbed that gun, she ran to the officer's assistance, she shot and killed the suspect, she saved that officer's life. I need, I want, and we have to as a people celebrate these brave men and women who came to the aid of police officers in need. Now here's the out loud truth. If you didn't know any better, you didn't hear me tell you these stories, you'd never hear them. All you would know is what the mainstream media is putting out there, that the American people don't like their cops. They hate their cops. They're afraid of their cops. That the police are out there hunting down poor innocent people because of they are racist thugs or they want to hurt people. And that is the narrative that's going out there. And this is the argument that needs to be made is the truth and nothing but the truth. And that is that the American law enforcement officer, the men and women who every single day go out and serve their communities, do so because they truly care. Now, I have worked with thousands of men and women. I have stood beside them. I have worked with them. I have seen things that would curdle your blood when it comes down to violence, when it comes down to the way that men and women who wear that badge are treated, not just by the people that they are arresting, but even people in the community and even people in their own police administrations. Here's the reality. These men and women serve because they truly care. They are willing to put their lives on the line, and every 53 hours, ladies and gentlemen, another officer will die in the line of duty. Every 53 hours, a cop will die. And that doesn't even consider those men and women who are permanently disabled from line of duty injuries who are often forgotten by the very communities that they serve. And while the stories I told you are very, very dramatic, the men and women who saved the lives of those police officers, but you know what? Every single one of us can make a positive difference now. Every single one of us can play a role. You can be part of Blue Lives Matter. You can support the men and women who give so much to the men and women of their communities. It is you who can make a difference. How do you do that? Join Blue Lives Matter. That's one simple way. The truth is, we need to unify. This country needs to unite the police and the people. Together, we can make a difference.